So a nice tall spine. And we'll start with the Sahana Vavatu prayer, often referred to as the teacher-student prayer. It's a very intimate prayer used in an intimate term. So it's just saying that we share what we have together. Our food, our work, our study, it all should be vigorous and fruitful. Hopefully we don't antagonize one another, and may there be peace, peace, peace. So if you know this and you are where you can, please chant along with me. Otherwise, you can just listen. So tall spine. I'm bringing my hands into Anjali Mudra, letting my thumbs just rest on my sternum. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Letting your spine lift a little, occupy a tiny bit of space above you, and just resting your hands gently in your lap as you set an intention for your practice this morning. Now, taking that intention out of your thoughts, of your mind space, and let it just drop down into your heart, and we'll bring it back at the end of class. So again, a nice tall spine. I'm sitting in a cross-legged position. You can be in any position that's comfortable. You can even sit in a chair for this as long as you don't have a back, sit on the edge of it. We're just going to rotate our whole trunk around the head. So we're just moving around nice and slowly. And then let's switch and go in the other direction. Just letting our hips wake up. Couple more. Good. And then nice and tall again in the spine. This time, just take your arms up in front of you, just all the way up in front, and then opening them like a waterfall. So that bring the hands into the heart, just climb the arms up and over like a waterfall. Just climb them up, waking up the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. Good. This time, let's just stay up for a moment and then reach over to your left side. I'm going to mirror you. So reach over to your left side and grab your right wrist and just lift, lift, lift. Perfect. And then bring your whole arms down to your heart as you come back into neutral. Good. And just let's lift again, all the way back up. First, just lift and then lean and lift a little bit over toward the right side. And then grab that left wrist and just lift your ribs away from your pelvic basket, creating space for the breath. And then coming back up into the hands down into the heart for a moment. Good. And then let's interlace the fingers and press the arms out for just a moment, just pressing out. Let your shoulders creep up towards your ears for a moment, and then take them back, and then take them down, and then take them forward, like they're going to peel off your back. Shoulder blades are just peeling off. And then open your arms nice and set your shoulder blades back down on your back, down, and then take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers there, squeeze your knuckles toward the floor, just opening the heart, opening the chest. Say a little no with your head, neutral, and a little yes with your head. And then let's release the arms and take them overhead. Good. And then here again, interlacing the fingers and just taking the palms of the hands up toward the ceiling. And we're going to do just a little lean to the left and then come back into the center and a little lean to the and come back into the center. Good. And then just release the arms. And let's take our legs out in front of us for just a few moments. Good. So point the toes, really point the toes, and then flex the feet back towards you. So that your feet look like they're in Barbie slippers, right? So you have dorsal and plantar flexion at the same time. So again, point your toes, keep your foot pointed, and then lift just your toes back. Good. Just keep that position for a moment. See if you can put the knuckles of the toes together, not the heels. The heels are going to stay apart. Heels are going to stay right behind your second, third toe crease for just a moment. Good. And now point the toes again. And then flex the whole foot. Keep your feet on the ground. Us hyperextenders can pull those feet right off, and we're not going to do that. Keep your heels on the ground, even though you might want to take them off. Don't do it. Keep your big toe knuckles touching. And then you're going to put your feet toward one another like you would do with the palms of your hands, and then open it up. And for some of us, it really helps if our feet can copy our hands. So just putting your hands together, the palms together, and open the feet and the palms. Feet together. This is just working on your ankles for a moment. And opening. And again. And opening. Good. And then just bring your leg and shake out the ankle. Just shake it out. And then Babaji calls this ankle cranking. So you're going to keep it soft. You're not going to help. You're going to just let your hand go around both directions, just shaking. And then let it go. And then bring up the and then cranking the ankle. One direction and then the other. Good. And then coming in all the way through. Great. So now we're going to go over onto our knees. You might want a blanket underneath your knees, just whatever you might need. Good. And make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your hands are in front of your shoulders with really big fingers. So spread your fingers apart. See if you can make an L with your index finger and your thumb. And make sure your legs are falling right out from the hip joint. So not too close, not too far. Not too close, not too far. Okay, good. So we're going to keep our shoulder girdle stable and our hip girdle stable. And we're going to take the spine between these 2 points. So this is our cat pose, right? Vidalasana. So as you arch toward the ceiling, exhale the breath slowly, arching slowly. And then in the other direction, as you inhale, keep the shoulders strong. Coordinate with your breath. You're welcome to add the feet if you'd like. I'm just going to come and check on you for a sec. See if there's any cues I can use to help. Good. So just maximum extension and then maximum inflection on the whole spine. Coordinating with your breath. Good. Really tuck the chin into your chest when you go toward the ceiling with your spine. And then even though you may not take your head back very far, take your gaze up toward the ceiling when you come in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Perfect. And now let's find neutral for just a moment. Okay. And let your left leg just go in circles. And in the opposite direction, circles, and then back and forth like a pendulum, and then reach the leg back, all the way back. Good. And then look back behind you. See if you can see behind you. Tuck in some clothes or something, whatever you need to do to see behind you. And then lift the foot just a little. Keep the toes in the same direction as they were down. So your little toe is pointing down, not to the side. So there's no rotation. Come up a little bit more, and then just where you can see just your toes. Good. And then gently bend your knee. Just gently bend the knee. So you can point the toe or flex the foot, whatever feels best, whatever gives you more engagement on your quadriceps. You can point and flex. Good. And then take the leg back and then slowly plant it. Okay, let's go with the right leg. So circles first, one direction and then the other. Good. And then back and forth like a pendulum. Excellent. And then curl the toes under, press through the heel. So really engage the foot, the leg, everything. Big fingers. That's your tripod now, that one leg and your fingers. So you're going to come up and look back and make sure that all five toes, six toes, four toes, whatever you got, headed toward the floor. Good. And then lift a little bit just so you can see only your toes, but we're still not having any external rotation. The heel is toward the ceiling, your toes are toward the floor. And then bend the knee, heel toward your hip. Wherever it falls is perfect. And then flex the foot and point it. Just see which one you like. You're welcome to stay or just do both. Good. And then reach the foot back, place it on the floor again, and then just plant it. Good. So let's take a cat arch. Tuck the chin into the chest and stay there for a few breaths. Just notice the difference in your breath as you press into the floor with your hands and your feet. You can curl your toes under or lay your feet out, whichever gives you the most traction. Good. And then find neutral, looking at the floor. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So curl the tailbone toward the back of the head toward the tailbone. Gaze toward the ceiling, face can be forward. Press into your hands, press into your feet and your legs. And then again, let's look for neutral. Great. So we're going to go up to mountain pose, often called downward facing dog. Babaji called it mountain, Budrasan. So I'm going to let my little fingers, because I know I'm going to be there for a few breaths, I'm going to give myself a lot of shoulder space. So I'm going to take my little fingers off my mat. So maybe just consider that. If you haven't ever done it, just see what it feels like. Good. So wiggle your hips for a moment, because we want to really know where that's going to come from. So we're going to take our hips up, curl the toes under. So maybe just watch for a second to see how deeply my knees are bent when I first go there. So I'm going to just press back, and I can almost rest my chest on my legs. And from there, I'm going to go up. I may need to wiggle my feet back. The purpose here is to let the spine hang in traction for a few breaths. In the minute you want to come down, just come right down onto your knees. And you're welcome to do another traction, which is to lay your feet out and reach forward into hill pose, little baby mountain, little puppy pose, if it's a down dog. So either way, letting your spine just be in traction for a moment. Puppy pose or mountain pose. Good. And just breathe for a few moments. And you're welcome to transition back into puppy pose at any point in time. We're all going to meet there in a moment. Then we're all going to meet in child's pose, actually. So whatever is feeling good. Excellent. And then if you're up in mountain, let's drop to your knees. Reach your hands out even further. Forehead toward the floor, can touch, and just feeling that sensation. Also, letting the spine just click, 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 click from your tailbone down to the crown of the head. Good. And then walk your hands back and put your hands all the way underneath your shoulders. Lay your feet out and take your hips back towards your heels. And then here you can do, my hands are just underneath my head, under my shoulders. I'm just taking my hips toward my heels. And then let's all walk forward into Sphinx pose. So coming down into Sphinx pose. Let's lay out the feet once you get there so that the tops of the feet are firmly on the floor and our elbows are underneath our shoulders. Good. Excellent. So pull your belly off for a moment, just pull it off, and then keep your belly tucked in. But the belly is engaged, so we're protecting our back. So keep the belly moving up toward the ceiling. Then wing your elbows out for a moment and just feel ribs, 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 ribs starting to lower. Make a little pillow by placing your forearms on top of each other and then resting your head on your forearms for just a moment. Continue to press your legs into the floor. So the bottom of the body is engaged. The belly is engaged. The legs are engaged. We're just resting our forehead for a moment on our forearms. And then gently just remove your head from the forearms. Take the arms back behind you and reach them back. Just reaching back. Keep the belly engaged. Feet are firmly on the mat. And then gently lift the feet as if you could take the toenails back to the wall behind you. Chest reaches, lifting up off the chest. Good. And then slowly melt down, relaxing your arms, your shoulders. Turn the face to one side. And let your belly just rest for a moment. Belly just toward the mat, soft, bottom soft, legs are soft. Everything's soft. And then gently begin to pull the belly away from the mat. You'll find your knees will lift as you press the tops of the feet into the floor, especially the little toe side, keeping the heels toward the ceiling. Begin to lift up off of your ribs one by one by one. Reach the arms back, and then toes just coming up and off. If we were seeing ourselves, we'd look like little super women and men. Good. And then one more time, just melting slowly, but slowly. Like feel the ribs, feel the knees, feel everything surrendering to the mat. Nice and easy. And then again, let's bring our hands underneath the shoulders. Hands underneath the shoulders. Elbows are glued close to your back, close to your ribs, sorry, and begin to press up just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so we could still come off of our hands if we wanted. Okay, you're going to look back behind you into Curious Cobra. You can press up a little bit more if you want, and then come back down. And then look again, other side, Curious Cobra, and then come back down. And then curl the toes under. We're going to come up, back into mountain for just a moment. We're going to make our way up to standing. Walking our feet toward the middle of the mat, walking our hands back toward the middle of the mat.
Deeply bent knees, hanging in ragdoll for just a moment. Let your head go. And then let's bring the hands to the tops of the knees. Glue your elbows beside you. First, begin to look forward. Let your whole spine lead, and then exhaling the rest of the way up. Good. Nice and slow. Excellent. And then from here, we're going to open up into a nice wide stance for a moment. Okay? Good. So last week I explained everyone when we're externally rotating our leg, we have a choice. We can go on the ball of the foot to rotate it, or we can go on the heel of the foot to rotate it. So just being conscious of which one gives you the space that you need to go into a little warrior two, dying warrior series. Okay? So as you're ready, just rest your hands on your waist. And then take your hands just for you to see down to your hip joint for a moment. So where that crease is, where you actually rotate. Good. And then we're going to externally rotate the right leg. That'll take our belly button a little bit to the right. Good. Try to maintain the length of the spine upward. And then slowly bend the knee, take it shy of or right over. Down and make sure you can only see your big toe. Nothing more. Hide that heel. Good. And then taking the arms up again, just right up like a waterfall. Let them open. Good. And then shoulder blades moving down the back, and just the forearms are going to pronate. So just moving the forearms. Good. Looking out over your middle finger. Good. And then straighten the leg for a moment. Just straighten the leg and reach just a little bit. We're not going yet. And then come back into neutral. So you really see where that neutral is. And then reach and come back into neutral. Good. Reach again. Let's lift the toes on the feet. Just lift the toes, really engage the whole leg. Good. And now with that lift, I want you to bend the knee. Good. Try to keep those toes lifted. Excellent. And then place your right arm with the elbow headed back, as if you could elbow someone behind you. And then letting your left arm come up into a side angle pose. So you're not dumping into that arm, into that leg. Okay, good. And then reach the left arm up toward the ceiling initially. Good. And then just straighten the leg. Good. So we're in a nice little modified triangle. So the triangle that interests me here is the one that you're making with your femur, your spine, and your arm. Good. And then we're going to cartwheel the arms up, bringing our whole body up, reaching over, reverse triangle. And then we're again going to bend the right knee into reverse warrior. Good. So the upper body stayed the same. And then bring ourselves back into warrior two. Good. Gazing out one last time. Flip the palms, supinate, bend, straighten the leg and come all the way up and unrotate. Good. Hands to the heart. Good. And then just release your arms for a second and just get soft, like a little, like with your whole body. But sometimes we'll get really tense and hold parts of our muscles, so we just want to be soft. Okay, now let's go with the left leg. So we're going to externally rotate the left leg.
Once you get there, think about lifting your toes. And that means for me, I need to take my right heel out a little bit more. My this hip is my limited hip with a lot of arthritis, so you won't see as much on this side. Let's take the arms out to the side, bring them all the way up, and then just let them waterfall open with the palms up initially, shoulder blades sliding down the back, and then flip the palm, and then let's take the leg out. Bend the knee, and look down and make sure you only have your big toe. There's no leaning forward yet. So if you're having a tendency to lean, bring your upper body back. You can often do that by reaching back with your right arm, like reach back, find that neutral spot, and then gazing out over your finger. Good. And then we're going to reach to the side and then come back up. Find neutral, find the difference. So my leg isn't moving at all. I have my knee bent, arthritic leg, not as big of a bend, okay? But I'm going to reach and come back. You want to see a difference. Reach and come back. Reach and come back. And then we're going to reach and stay. And placing that hand right on your left thigh, elbow behind you. Don't dump into the arm. And then arm floating up and over to side angle. So don't dump into your legs or arms. Keep your body open. Beautiful. And then taking your right arm up toward the ceiling, begin to straighten the left leg into this modified triangle. And as I mentioned, this is the triangle that interests me. There are three of them here. Just think about it. The one between your legs, the whole body, and this little one that we're forming here. Good. And then we're going to cartwheel the arms over, coming into reverse triangle. So reaching back. And then we're going to bend the left knee. The upper body stays the same. We're just bent knee, heading into Joan of Arc, Dying Warrior, whichever. No dumping into any of the anything. And then we're going to come back into Warrior Two, just floating the arms, looking out over your left fingers. Lift through the pelvic floor, lift through your belly. And then we'll flip both hands up, supinating, asking for a little bowl of soup in your palms. Coming up, bending, straightening the leg, bringing the arms up, and then slowly unrotate the left foot leg. Hands into the heart. Good. And so from here, let's just hinge over at the hip, wherever it feels comfortable. Make sure your heels are out enough to support your legs without any rotation. So your knees and your second and third toe are headed toward the front. Good. And then we're going to slowly surrender our upper body. So keeping your body nice and engaged on the legs, just letting your spine pour out. And then begin to gaze forward. And let's all try to bend our knees and put our feet on the floor. Like let's begin to heel toe, until you're down in some kind of a squat. And if you have any knee issues, just stay in a big tall squat for a moment. Because we're just going to go to the floor, but we're just having a squat for just a moment. It's really good to get that apana vayu headed down, and then just look for the floor. Take your seat. Good. And then let's extend out left foot, sitting up nice and tall. Good. And just gazing and taking a little twist, just a little natural twist towards your leg. You can always go away from your leg, but I'm just going to go toward my leg. Just a little twist over to the side. And breathing. So keeping our breath out of our belly, in the chest, all the way around, the barrel of the chest. Try to think about spreading your back ribs with every single breath. Use your next inhale and take your chin out over your right shoulder. And then use your next inhale to arch your chin over your left shoulder. Draw it up and over. Good. And then slowly just release the twist. Right front and center. And just notice the difference between the two sides of the body. Press down through the right foot, right leg, and bring up the left. Good. Need a pillow under my hip with my tight hip. If you have an arthritic hip or if you're just simply tight, feel free to grab something, put it under, maybe a block, whatever you need. Good. Nice and tall spine. Great. And if you find out, if you ever find that when you're like here, ready to twist, that you can't really get that, feel free to lean back until you have a nice long spine. So always feel free to lean back as much as you need to not have that curve in your low back when you are about to twist. Okay? Good. So good. Gently into the twist. We're just going to stay there. And with every breath, just envisioning the squeezing of your spinal cord. And what's in your spinal cord? Shushumna nadi. Our path to enlightenment. So making sure it gets a lot of love and tender care every day. On your next inhaled breath, just letting your chin float out over your left shoulder. And then on your next inhaled breath, arcing it up toward the ceiling a little and then over onto your right shoulder. Good. Just enjoying the twist. Sternum is headed in one direction, your face is headed in the other direction. Good. Back into neutral. Go ahead and slide, foot out. Good. Nice tall spine. Good. And then it's legs a little, just like this. So Paschimottanasana is a westward stretch. So the whole back of the body from our heels all the way through here. But we're going to take our legs out of the equation for a moment just by bending our knees and letting our back round, okay? So all I'm going to do is just gently round my back, take my chin toward my chest. I'm sitting up on my sit bones. And then begin to peel the chin off the chest and begin to look forward. And then taking our arms and hands back behind us. Good. Shoulder blades moving toward one another in the back as if they could kiss. Good. And then gently just pressing up. Good. So reverse table. And then taking your bottom back down, right on top of your sit bones. And again, just coming forward. This is a pose, counter pose. It should be very gentle. There's no need to press. Good. And then one more time. Hands back behind you. I'm best with my fingertips pointing in. You might like them differently. Leave your feet where they are because when you take your knees up, you're going to need your ankles to receive the knees. This is also called Nabi Darshan, gazing at your belly button. And slowly replace the hips on the floor. Good. And this time, when you straighten the legs, just sitting up nice and tall. So try and make as much as of a right angle as possible. Good. Just nice tall spine. And then let your big toe knuckles touch and your heels not touch. And just make sure that you're feeling really comfortable in your spine. And then we're just simply going to pull our belly to the spine and then gently curl forward. So you don't have to go very far at all, just where it's comfortable, just until you feel some engagement on the back of your legs. You don't have to go any further. Remember, no pain. Just back off a little. You just want the sensation of knowing that the heels to the sit bones are feeling their maximum engagement. They're not contracting, they're just lengthening. Good. And then gently begin to peel your chin off your chest, looking up, coming up, nice and tall. Good. And then we're going to make our way to the floor. But before you make your way to the floor, watch for just a second, okay? I'm going to grab a block. If you have a book or anything else, a nice big fat dictionary or something that you can use if you don't have a block. So when I go down, I'm going to put the block underneath my hips. Here, do this. And if you can have a little added support, just lift your very good for your leg drain. And you can also use the wall. Okay, so whichever of those inversions, you're not inverting if you have any kind of eye issue. Or if you're on your menstrual cycle, not the time to invert. All is perfect with your bottom on the floor. Now, if you're on your block, just lift off of it. Shake out your booty just a little bit, and then just lower it to the floor and look for your Shavasana. Look for your corpse pose. Just melting in to the mat, to the blanket. Slowly and gently coming into the breath. Just noticing the rise and the fall of your belly or your chest. Letting the senses come on and one by one, just noticing them and their qualities. Sound, the sound of my voice, touch, sight, taste, and smell. Just noticing how we perceive the world through these senses. Nice big go overhead stretch, just lifting up, pointing your toes, flexing your feet, doing both. Lift up, 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 stretching as long and as tall as you possibly can. And then
placing your feet firmly on the floor. Lift, shift them over to one side and then fall over to the other side into embryo pose, all curled up, safe and secure. And then gently, using your upper hand, begin to press the floor away and just let yourself spiral up, coming into a comfortable seat. Again, if you want a pillow or a blanket, we're going to move into more of breathing upright, and we're going to have a very short meditation. So whatever is comfortable, or even a chair is good, whatever feels comfortable to you. Good. So spine is erect. Think of Sushumna. And again, bring yourself into that abdominal breathing. So your belly expands. It's different without gravity on the inhale, and you bring it back to the spine on the exhale. So you can use your abdomen, use the muscles, bring it back on the exhale, and then let it go on the inhale. Just notice how it makes you feel in your body and your mind when you're engaging in abdominal breathing. Just noticing. And we're going to do one pranayam which uses that belly breath. It's called sitkari, and sitkari means hissing. So the breath comes into the belly through our mouth. We're actually going to put the tongue where the teeth meet the upper palate, and we're going to smile and bring the breath in with a hissing sound into the belly, and then slowly close your mouth, pause for a moment with a slow, smooth exhale out the nostrils. So inhaling belly breath through the open mouth, hissing, and exhaling, closing the mouth. Take a pause at the top, and then slowly let the breath out. Okay? So just a few sitkari, cooling breaths. It stays in the belly, so it's not a very long breath. Be sure you pause at the top. Lay your tongue in the bottom of the mouth as you exhale. Notice the cilia of the tongue, those little hair-like features. Get cool, which cools off the upper palate, which happens to be the base of the brain. So just finding that hissing sound with a big smile on your face.
Complete the round that you're on and just noticing how it makes you feel. We're going to slide right into our meditation, just noticing the breath. Dharana is the first stage of meditation. It's called concentration. So we're going to concentrate on the breath. We're not going to control it. We're just going to concentrate on what it's doing and saying to yourself, I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling, not controlling it, just watching it like an observer, witnessing the universe breathe you, inhaling and exhaling, noticing the pauses in between. Don't control the breath, just watch. Concentrate on the breath. Relax. releasing our meditation, just letting the breath go, and remembering your intention for your practice this morning. Just bring it back into your mind. What do you need today for self-transformation? And then bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment to think of others that may need a little extra. Bring them into mind. Any prayers or petitions. And then any merit that we've earned in our practice of yoga, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. So taking these thoughts and letting them drift from your mind down into your heart space, and symbolically from your heart space into the very palms of your hands, and just lift them up and let them go. Just let go. Bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. I'm coming to you.